Hi there, my name is Warren Whitfield and I'm the originator of this course. I'm also the owner of Acudetox clinics in South Africa and Acudetox Academy. I started the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association in South Africa about 10 years ago, and I've trained about 500 practitioners in South Africa, all across South Africa. We have been very privileged to be able to use Acudetox and magnet therapy. Um, and I was very privileged to be able to study in New York at Lincoln Recovery Center in South Bronx under the best doctors and psychiatrists in the world, and also at St. Vincent's Catholic Mission, where NADA had a community clinic open to the public for victims of the Twin Tower bombings. And parents would bring their kids into the clinic soon after the bombings happened, and kids obviously being very traumatized alongside with their parents. And what they started to notice was that kids who had ADHD, their parents were coming in weeks later and saying, "What have you done to my child? My child's ADHD has cleared up, or my child doesn't seem to have ADHD anymore." And of course, a study was done on this at one of the hospitals. You can Google it if you want to learn more about it. And there were incredible results from the treatment. You'll see a before and after photograph of a 5-year-old little girl with Down syndrome and ADHD, and the before was 5 months prior to that. And this poor girl, the first photo looks like she has multiple personality disorder. And granted, there isn't a smiley face on the right-hand side, but at least there's something that resembles a child's face. So, I was able to learn under June Dolan, who brought it to NADA. I studied at St. Vincent's Catholic Mission under June Dolan. But it's important to understand that although I studied this at a Catholic mission hospital, this has nothing to do with any kind of religion. Neither does acupuncture, although it's commonly believed, unfortunately, that it's because it's from the East, it's evil, and that's a load of nonsense. Um, I was one of those people that believed that. And it was only when I started to study this with an open mind and to go and look at the results. At the end of the day, if things don't produce results and if they're not measurable, then we can't take them seriously. And because this obviously produced results and was measurable, I certainly paid attention to it. And I've experienced wonderful transformations in children whose parents brought their kids to come and see me. And most of our practitioners who practice with kids with ADHD have also experienced that. Not all of our practitioners focus on ADHD. Some of them have other focuses. They might focus on addiction or depression or anxiety or stress. But they have certainly been trained on what to do with kids with ADHD using Acudetox and magnet therapy. So there's going to be a list just below this video of all the practitioners in South Africa. Give them a call. It's worth checking out. It really is. And that's the reason I've put it in this course, to help you as a parent make better decisions for your child, especially if you want to avoid pharmaceutical drugs for your kids. We've noticed, unfortunately, in the rehabs, the drug rehabs, that 80% of the people coming in for addiction problems were on ADHD medication when they were kids. So the medication long term does play a role in terms of influencing the child's behavior and conditioning the child's behavior for addiction. Well, that's our theory. I'm not going to quote that as a fact, especially coming up against the pharmaceutical companies. But amongst the addiction treatment society, amongst those professionals, we've certainly noticed this. Whether it is because most people with addictions have ADHD, or whether their addictions were caused by ADHD, or should I say the medication they were on, that obviously still needs to be investigated and studied. But that information certainly is out there, and it should be considered when looking for alternative treatment for your child.